Wambsganss. The first thing that I want to ask, last decade technological advances in telescope and instrument design during this past time, coupled with the exponential increase in computer and communications capabilities, have caused a dramatic change in the character of astronomical research. Virtual observatories involve the integration of all major astronomical data archives into a digital ecosystem using advanced e-infrastructures, which involve significant technological challenges. In this regard, I would like to know your opinion about the main technological challenges for ICT set by German virtual observatory.
Well, yeah, as you said, the advances in technology, the possibility that we get more and bigger CCDs. I mean, we started out with megapixel or a few megapixels, and now we have 3 or 4 gigapixel cameras in astronomy. Another thing is that we get time series of all astronomical objects, positions, brightnesses, and so on. And so indeed, it's a big goal for the virtual observatory worldwide to get all this data integrated. And well, we in Germany started to become a member of this International Virtual Observatory Alliance early on in the year 2000 or so. And in order to have this full integrated system, the universe at your fingertips, it takes very much individual work. And the good thing about the ArVO is that it's not top-down, that someone decides this should be done, but that each nation which participates does something sort of bottom-up, grassroots, what they can do. And so we here have experience in developing good databases and connecting them. And we also have a strong interest in educating the general astronomers about these tools, because sometimes it doesn't help to have well-developed tools if the broad majority of the astronomers don't know about it or don't use it. So one has to approach them. I mean, first of all, one has to develop these tools and make it as user-friendly as possible, but then one has to educate the astronomers, because many astronomers are a bit conservative and think, well, I've always done it this way, I continue doing it this way. But often these virtual observatory tools make a big effort, very quick, efficient, so that people can do much better cross-correlation of things, but they have to know about it. And that's why we address astronomers at all ages, young students, postdocs, but sometimes even senior astronomers, and offer workshops nationwide to educate them about the well-advanced possibilities of the virtual observatory.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is about this collaboration between Armenia and Germany. Center for Astronomy of Heidelberg University and Armenian Astrophysical Observatory joined their efforts to build high-performance research environments, so German and Armenian Astrophysical Virtual Observatories. So how do you envisage the impact of such projects and activities between the two teams?
Well, as the whole structure of the ArVO is bottom-up, it's good that the different groups in the different countries know about each other and know about their work. So I've known Professor Areg Mickaelian for many years at the various ArVO meetings, and a few years ago there was a meeting in Yerevan, Birakan, which I attended, so I could get some impression of what the Armenian scientists, astronomers and computer scientists were doing. And so we took the chance of this bilateral Armenian-German possibility to get funds, to get to know each other better, to get to know what the other groups are doing, developing, learning from each other, also getting to know the different scientific environments. And I think this will certainly help for all future endeavors, that one can coordinate things better and learn from each other. And so I enjoyed my visit then in Yerevan very much. And with this program, we can probably also have some members of my group here in Heidelberg visit Yerevan and Birakan in the next 18 months or so. So my experience is that knowing the other people, the other parties, the other scientists, and having a good communication certainly helps advance the projects.
Okay. In this regard, I think it will be essential for the major virtual observatory data centers also to be interconnected with very high-speed networks, and to utilize intelligent server-side software agent in order to make the most efficient use of the network when interacting with end users also. And so, thanks to the European Commission and particularly EAP Connect project, a high-capacity broadband internet network now is provided to decrease the digital gap between Europe and Armenia, and now a dedicated 1 gigabit point-to-point connectivity is available between Yerevan and Frankfurt. So how do you think such infrastructures may broaden out your collaboration between Armenia and Germany?
Well, it certainly is a very useful technical advance to have this, because when you have to wait for big amounts of data to get from one place to the other, and you have to wait whatever minutes, hours, days or so, it is very tedious, and often then you just stop doing this type of work because it takes so long. So having really fast internet connections or data transfer connections makes the cooperation easier, and also the general work in the virtual observatory, because the idea is that whatever astronomical data there is, they are stored somewhere, and the end user doesn't even need to know where it is, but the requirement is to have very fast connections, not just between A and B, but between all the nodes, so that it really allows for efficient work. But this particular connection between Armenia and Germany certainly helps very much this particular data exchange between Armenia and Germany, and probably it also helps other scientists who either want to access data on databases in Germany and or in Armenia.
Yes, and my last question, more for your professional side, what astrophysical output could be expected to this collaboration?
Well, the idea of basic research is that you rarely know what you will discover or what new scientific results you will gain. So in this sense, the technical good connections or good well-connected databases and cross-correlations is a necessary requirement, but the next breakthrough or the next top scientific result to predict is very hard and difficult. So that's why I cannot really point to a concrete field. I mean, there are some booming fields in astronomy, like, well, recently gravitational waves, but this is far from my own work, or the searches for extrasolar planets, which is a bit closer to mine. But in a sense, once the virtual observatory technological connection works well, the scientist doesn't even need to know anymore about one particular connection, but they can just use it as a very well-developed worldwide connection. So I really can't point to one particular scientific area or scientific results that I expect, but I'm sure that all in all, these developments will certainly support and boost and make it easier to do future discoveries.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Good afternoon, Professor Mickaelian. Recently, we had a chance to get an interesting interview from the German part of an interesting collaboration between Armenian and German astrophysical sites with Dr. Professor Wambsganss, and we had his opinion on this collaboration. So it would be interesting to know what's your opinion and what is the importance of this collaboration between the Center of Astronomy of Heidelberg University and Mickaelian Astrophysical Observatory.
Thank you. In fact, virtual observatories are themselves collaboration, because there exist several projects, national projects of virtual observatories, but in fact they should collaborate. We have such a term as interoperability between different projects, that they need to unify their efforts, unify their data, their tools for investigating the universe with powerful methods of astroinformatics. That is why it is important that we work together And this collaboration between the Armenian and German virtual observatories is one of the best examples how scientists of different countries can come together, can collaborate, put their joint efforts for the same goal. So we had a grant. This is awarded by German and Armenian Ministries of Education and Science. In case of Germany, it is Education and Research. And we have funds for mutual travels, for workshops, and some other kinds of collaboration. So the first thing that we did was our visit of 8 scientists to Germany, to Heidelberg Institute of Astronomical Calculations, let's say, Astronomische Recheninstitut in Heidelberg. This is a unique institute that is specialized for astroinformatics. In the world there are many astronomical institutes and observatories having such projects, such departments, but this institute is entirely devoted to this subject. That is why we find very important collaboration with them. And especially also because German virtual observatory project is based in this institution. We have also plans for continuation. The first attempt was to exchange data, to exchange ideas, exchange our tools that we develop in each country. Especially German scientists were good, are good in development of several VO, virtual observatory tools, which they presented to our young scientists. Our young scientists now will work using these tools for reduction, for analysis, and for handling all our data we have obtained after digitization of our very important, very valuable observational material, the Birakan survey, Mickaelian survey, which gave a lot of scientific results, but I believe a lot more will come after having applied these tools. So this makes a more efficient research. Next year we will continue these efforts. We will have visits by German scientists to Armenia and Armenian scientists to Germany. We will have joint workshop in September 2018 and some other kinds of collaboration.
So it means that virtual observatories are those science-driven, but also they are technology-enabled. So what are the technological challenges and what is the support from the Armenian National Research and Educational Network or the Institute of Informatics and Automation Problems you expect?
Yeah, of course we have astrophysical tasks, but all these tasks are being fulfilled by computer scientists. And the collaboration between Germany and Armenia, in this case, is from our part, is jointly between Birakan Observatory and Institute of Informatics and Automation Problems. Both institutes belong to the National Academy of Sciences. And our collaboration started many years ago by having joint projects on development of virtual observatory. The Armenian virtual observatory itself is joint collaboration between these two institutes. And from computer scientists, of course, we need developments of tools how to reduce, how to analyze big data in astronomy. Big data mostly come from the universe, I believe, because the universe is much bigger than the Earth, and all sciences work by data obtained on the Earth, and astronomy works with data coming from the universe. That's why astronomy is very important from the point of view of the computer science, to have more developments, powerful tools for having analyzing this big data in astronomy. So we expect, for example, the exchange of ideas, exchange of developments, exchange of knowledge in the sphere of computer science between Armenia and Germany also, which will be applied finally for our tasks, for our scientific tasks. And then we have joint publications, and it is mutually benefit, of course, a beneficiary of this collaboration, because we have scientific output using computer science and having possibilities to work with much better efficiency, with much higher modern level how to do science. This is very important for us also.
Yes, and about the connectivity, do you think it's also a supporting tool for astronomers?
Of course, yes. And this Institute of Informatics and Automation Problems supports our internet, our connectivity, and as I said, we have very large data, big data. We need very high speed of internet and any kind of connectivity to exchange this data between both institutions and also within Armenia and Germany, and with also other scientific centers. That is why this is very important that every year we increase our possibilities due to efforts from Institute of Informatics.
Could you point out some main outputs that you have already had or you are expecting?
In our case, this is putting our data in a virtual observatory format, which will be then usable, accessible from the whole world, from astronomers from the whole world can access our data and use for their scientific tasks. This means that our data will be more widely spread, and this can lead to new collaborations. For example, having our data, many scientists come in touch with us and suggest collaboration, suggest new scientific tasks. Finally, of course, for Birakan Observatory, this is very beneficiary.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.